everybody.
Hi, everybody.
I'm Scott.
I'm John.
And we're married. And no, that doesn't have anything to do with the quality of our knitting. We just like to say it. It just so happens that it was something we said at the first or second episode. And now we say it every time. So we forgot that when we start an episode, our dog immediately becomes needy and starts picking up things from around the house that he shouldn't have in his mouth and comes up to us. Mm-hmm. So we've given him a stick to chew on, a bully stick. So hopefully
that'll last about 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
But then he seems to not bother us too much.
Right,
after that.
Because he's gotten what he wants.
Right. He's trained us.
Mm.
So we're back 8 days after our last episode. So not quite. We didn't quite do one in a week, but we did one in 8 days.
In less than 2.
In less than 2 weeks.
So
I hope everybody had a fabulous Christmas, or I don't think we had other holidays that overlapped with Christmas this year, because Ramadan and Hanukkah
no idea.
Didn't overlap this year.
No clue. Festivus?
Festivus is always right
before.
Is it right
before?
Or
is it after?
Or is it right? I don't remember. It's not real anyway. And then there's Boxing Day. But that's
right.
Anyway. So we had a good Christmas. It was just me and you.
Mm-hmm. Don't forget the cats and the dog.
And the cats and the dog.
But they didn't get any presents.
Well, I guess they didn't. It's so sad.
Yeah.
What would we get them?
Treats.
Well, they got their we had found a cat and dog advent calendar at Trader Joe's, and so
we give them most of that.
Yeah,
when we remember.
We've still got some days left on
right.
that. But we did a lot of knitting, some cooking. We made, for Christmas dinner, we made beef stew and homemade bread bowls from scratch, and those turned out amazing.
Yeah.
Lots of Zoom meetings with family and friends. Got some awesome presents.
Yep.
I think that I didn't get you anything knitting related this year, did I?
Well, you got me the sweater, which is technically knit. You got me the shirt, which is woven. So, I mean, close.
Yeah. No, I purchased those from LL Bean.
Right.
Or is it LL Bean? Yeah.
LL Bean, yeah. Where all of our gifts come from these days.
Yeah.
So.
We're those kind of gays.
We are.
We're LL Bean gays. LL Bean and Eddie Bauer gays.
Yes.
So, as usual, we've got knitting stuff to show. We do not have an Angela Lansbury movie review this time.
We do not, but we have an Angela Lansbury segment.
We do.
We do.
Oh, I guess I don't know about it.
He does not. It's going to be super fun.
It's mainly because I couldn't stomach letting Tamako Thomas win. So
it was more that we watched Wonder Woman.
That's true.
And then we spent yesterday doing yarn stash rearrangement.
Also, for those of you that watch the TV show EastEnders, which is a sitcom in the UK.
Is it really a sitcom?
I'm not a sitcom, a soap opera. Sorry, soap opera. Sitcom. Yeah, it's all real hilarious.
I mean, parts of it are pretty funny.
Right. But anything real, yeah, well, anyway. Sorry, I lost
we're watching EastEnders.
Yeah, and we're caught up to the middle of November.
Right.
During lockdown, and when they couldn't film, it got really spaced out, like once a week or something, and then when they could film again, they've been churning them out, and we got really behind, and so we watched episode after episode after episode after, but we still only got to mid-November. Yeah. So, what else? We reorganized our stash.
Yes, that was super fun.
And maybe we can put in some pictures of how we've got our stash set up.
Okay.
But basically, I put together same thing that a lot of people have, those cubby things, and we actually mounted it to the wall.
In our spare bedroom.
In our spare bedroom. It was in our one spare bedroom that we use as an office. We put it in the other spare bedroom. That's just used as a bedroom. And so gave us room. So then we still have the old stash area completely filled.
Well, yeah, it's being repurposed for other stuff, right. Knitting related, of course.
Knitting related stuff, yeah. And I started to have, not buyer's remorse, but I started to have guilt, I think it was, because as we're organizing things, I'm like, look at all this beautiful yarn, and we have all these, we can knit all this cool stuff, and I'm all about using stuff in our stash for projects. Like, I'm totally down with that. What made me, the realization I had is that we have tons of yarn that there's enough for most of a project or some of a project.
You mean like partial skeins and
partial
stuff?
Skeins.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got a lot, especially sock yarn. Because I'll knit a pair of socks, and then I'll put that yarn aside and never go back to it. And so having knit now for 3 or 4 years, I looked at all that yarn, and I'm like, that's awesome sock yarn. So, part of me, I don't really want to do scrappy socks with it, because some of it you could knit a whole pair of socks.
Right.
So part of me is like, well, I'll use one skein for heels, toes, and cuffs, and then another skein for the body. Start mixing and matching stuff. So I'm conflicted, because I love purchasing yarn, acquiring yarn, and I love supporting local dyers. But at the same time, we're already at that place where we could never buy yarn ever again and still have enough to knit us until we die.
And the thing is that we are the only people in the situation.
I know. Nobody else has
the only knitters who have this problem. I've been trying to do a little better about going into the stash for stuff.
Yeah, you have. And I didn't. When I was going to do the hat that I'm going to show, the finished object hat that I have, we pulled that out of stash just because I felt like doing it. I felt like knitting a hat, didn't want to buy yarn and wait for it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're like, oh, come on, well, let's find some yarn. I was like, there's no way we're going to find yarn for this hat.
Yeah.
And then
we found amazing yarn for that hat.
We found amazing yarn for the hat. And it looks so good blocked.
Yeah.
But, so maybe
we get ahead of ourselves.
Yes, we get ahead of ourselves. So I have kind of an ornament segment where I've got lots of comments from people and a couple finished ornaments to show. Got a finished object hat. What do you have?
I have no ornaments.
No, that's
no
not your
ornament
thing.
comments.
No.
I have a finished object, and I have a work in progress.
Cool. And I also have a work in progress. So we start with the ornament segment, since we're kind of past Christmas, and we'll get that out of the way.
Sure.
All right. So I want to thank everybody who gave me some great ideas and recommendations related to the ornaments and some of the struggles I was having. So that was very helpful. And then, so now I'm going to show some of the ornaments that I finished. So this one is a little stocking, and I don't have a hanger for it yet, or yarn or whatever, but it's using. So one of the things that I talked about in previous episodes is I really wanted to have sparkle yarn. What's it called? Starlina yarn. And so this is Wild Strawberry and Forest Green, which are both from the Crayola line of Trilogy yarns, but on her Razzle Dazzle base. So I think these turned out amazing.
Yeah.
And so very happy with this. And this is from the Susan B. Anderson.
Not Anthony.
So yes, we did say Susan B. Anthony several times, and I didn't really think about it till I was editing it, but Susan Flagnick commented that she thought it was hilarious.
I mean, Susan B. Anthony may have knit.
That's true.
I don't know.
We don't know that she didn't, but she did not design little ornament things in a collection that you can buy on Ravelry right now.
Not that we're aware of. So
this is Susan B. Anderson, not Susan B. Anthony. And then I'll link to the collection of patterns, obviously, along with everything we talk about in the description. Then I took the basic pattern from the Arne and Carlos Christmas balls, and then I did color work, because my plan is to knit Santiago, my new nephew, a Christmas ornament every year. And so, first of all, I'm going to look at my notes here. Pearl Girl Jen and LM both commented about making sure that you put lots of stuffing in the ornament. So that was one thing I followed. The other thing that I followed was Rob DeLine, which is our friend Rob from our Thursday Knit Night. he said to shred the polyfill, not just grab a hunk and stuff it in, which I did. And Katie Passay also from you also commented to do that, made that recommendation. And then Cheryl Merrill said to use a wooden needle or a pencil, the eraser end of a pencil to stuff the stuffing into the little hole at the bottom, because it's with this pattern, with the Arne and Carlos pattern, when you get to the bottom of the ornament, or technically I think it's the top, it's 3 stitches on each needle. So it's a total of 12 stitches. You can kind of expand it a little bit to get in there, but what I did was, when I got to about 3/4 of the way, I started stuffing it and packing it in. And I really packed it in, and kept packing it in and kept packing it in and kept packing it in. And it has made, so those 3 recommendations, so stuffing a lot in there, shredding the polyfill, and then using pencil eraser or whatever, that made all the difference. I think I want to go back, I can't now, but I want to go back to all the ornaments I've ever made and restuff them, because this turned out awesome. So I created the color work myself, which I've done before to spell out words, but when I was designing it, I used graph paper, and when I was designing it, I didn't think, because I did Santiago, and then I put the year 2020, but I put it on a separate line, and I only put 1 space in between the end of Santiago and 2020. So now it looks like
he's like a Terminator,
a robot, or a Terminator, or a band or something. So it looks like Santiago 2020 is his name. But this is how it turned out, and I could not be happier with it, because I love the Wild Strawberry Razzle Dazzle. That white yarn is just some acrylic, whatever yarn. And then the shape, I love the shape. I love, it turned out so great.
So, question.
Yeah.
So did you carry, so the color work is like, goes from here to here. Do you just carry the yarn behind?
I just trapped it every 3 stitches.
Gotcha.
You can see it a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. I couldn't tell if that was stuffing or that was yarn.
Part of that is because that white yarn is actually is heavier than fingering weight. So it's kind of poking through.
Do you do your color dominance?
I did.
It looks good. It looks like it pops.
Yeah. The one thing...
That's awesome.
I think it's funny that it says Santiago 2020. It's a band. So yeah, I'm super happy with that. So thanks to everybody for their tips. I want to knit 1 million Christmas balls now, because the spruce one that I did for Arne and Carlos, and then I've got another one that I haven't finished, but I haven't stuffed it yet. I was just feeling, when you just kind of lose your mojo for a pattern because it's not turning out quite right. I don't know if you're like me, but I tend to let the perfection be the enemy of completing the project. So as I was going through these ornaments, these Arne and Carlos ornaments, I'm like, they're going to end up looking like a weird lumpy thing. But now that I've gotten those pointers from people, I want to knit like 1 million of these now.
Cool.
I did use, for this ornament, I used fingering weight yarn or sock yarn, and then it's 2.5 millimeter needles, DPNs. And what was the other point about that? Because like I've used other ornament or other needle sizes, and it makes the ornament vary in size quite a bit.
Right.
But I thought that was perfect. A couple other pointers that I'm going to try potentially about the ornaments is that DD Terrio had a few different good suggestions, but one of them talked about using merino quilt stuffing.
It's like roving.
I would assume so.
Or close to it.
Yeah, but the way that DD Terrio talked about it, it sounded like it was more malleable or more shapeable, for lack of a better word. So I'm going to try that, because I think it'd just be fun to try stuffing something other than using the polyfill, just for fun. And then I just wanted to mention that May Rice, I think is how you say it, he or she had recommended there I had made a little tree ornament that's also in the Susan B. Anderson collection, and you use a French knot to create little ornaments. And I had done a green tree with a red base and white ornaments. But he or she talked about doing like rainbow,
that's cute,
like multicolored ornaments and stuff like that. So I'm definitely going to try that. So what does everyone say every year? I am going to knit like a couple ornaments a month, and then I don't have to knit 30,000 ornaments, because I didn't get, with my whole, getting a new job and, just kind of not feeling well, I got way off on all of my Christmas gifting with ornaments and all of that. And so I'm still going to try to get some things done for folks, but wouldn't it be nice if next year I got to Christmas and I had 30 ornaments to pick from to mail out to people as gifts?
It would be.
That would be nice.
That would be nice. You should do that.
I should do that. So yeah, so that's what I got for my ornament corner.
Fun ornament corner. That sounds nice.
What have you got for us?
So I have a finished object. It's very exciting.
Harris wants to know what's going on.
I have, socks.
Holy crap!
2 pairs of socks. 2 socks. And who do they fit? You.
Me. Why do you say it that way?
It's like, what do you say? Who do they fit? They fit Scott.
Oh.
I mean, obviously they're not mine because these are teeny little tiny foot socks. So anyway.
My foot size is average, I'll have you know.
Right. Anyway, so I finished Scott's socks. Scott's stupid socks, as we've been calling them.
Scott's SSS. Scott's stupid socks.
So yeah, just in time for a couple of days after Christmas. So they're not really a Christmas present, but that's okay. So this is a Ravenswood Fibre. Is DK yarn. The main color is called Autumn Drive, and the white color for the toe, the stripe, the heel, and this little detail is called Birch. And the pattern is also from Ravenswood Fibre, and it's called Captain Socks.
It's a DK pattern.
It's a DK. It's all DK pattern. So I think it's all superwash, but I'm not sure. So yeah, done. These fit unblocked, so I'm curious to see how they fit blocked. So they did wet block these. And the funny thing is that one of the things that happened is the heel. So the heels are a little different on each one. So this one is
each special in their own way.
This one is the heel done correctly. This is the heel done.
I don't think they saw, so because you're pointing from behind. So okay. This is the one with the heel done correctly.
Right, it is my segment.
I know, but you're as someone who edits the podcast, I know what works and what doesn't. Just
whatever.
Saying.
And this is the heel right here that was done incorrectly, but it's awfully sturdy. So anyway, super fun. I'm glad to be done with them. I'm glad to finally have made a pair of socks for Scott.
Do you want to say a little bit about what I know that you said it before, but but folks found that interesting in previous episodes, is how you did it wrong.
Oh, yeah, sure. So it is basically a heel flap. It's a heel flap and gusset. And so what you're supposed to do, and what I did on this sock, is your first round is basically knit, slip, knit, slip, knit, slip. And then on the second round, you slip the first stitch and then purl the row. So you're not knitting the round. For this one, I did knit, slip, knit, slip, knit, slip, first row. Then purl, slip, purl, slip, purl, slip, purl, slip, purl, slip. And then a knit, slip. It was so, it basically made everything very pulled together.
Think what that does when you do that is it slips when you slip every other stitch, it's basically halves the number of stitches and pulls them together.
Yep, and that would explain why this heel is so much, so much. But with the blocking...
And super dense.
Yeah. With the blocking, this heel looks less terrible.
And it fit fine. I mean, it fit differently, but it fit fine.
Yeah, and I did, when I was doing the measurement, I used this, because this sock fit, to measure the distance. So
right.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm excited for you to wear them.
Me too.
I'm not sure how the calf is going to be. That feels a little loose to me, but whatever.
Well, what I'm curious to see is with fingering weight or sock weight yarn. I wear those kind of socks year round. They're not warm, or they're not too warm on my feet. They don't make my feet hot or whatever. And so what I'm curious is, in fact, when I used to back when we could leave our houses, and I would ride the train to work, my feet would actually still get cold wearing knit socks. So I'm wondering if these will keep my feet a little warmer.
Maybe.
So
yeah. Done.
Yay.
I mean, am I a sock knitter now? No. Like, this was fun. I enjoyed it. I'm not looking at all our DK yarn and being like, oh, I need another pair of socks. So maybe someday.
I'll just take these now since they're mine.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Merry Christmas, baby.
Merry Christmas. Yay!
Yay.
All right, so I'm going to talk about my finished object.
Yay.
So I finished a year of hats, June, from name of designer on screen. I can't remember the name of the designer.
I can get everything. Oh, I don't know who designed. It's for Kelborn Woolens. I don't know if she designed the same one.
Okay, what's the name of the
Kelborn Woolens?
Okay. So it's Kelborn Woolens did a year of hats, and this is the one from June. So the yarn is the main color, which is the black, is from I believe it's from Blackberry Mills.
In Wisconsin.
And it's a wool silk blend. And then the color yarn is from Ravenswood Fibre, and it's Friday Night Fire Pit. So we talked about this in the previous episode, but this is an amazing hat to show off
a color,
indie dyed color, just cool yarn. So this is so I did wet block this, and this is for our neighbor, because we're knitting a hat for all of our neighbors, for each of our neighbors, and different hats for each neighbor. And then, so this is the one for our neighbor, Nate, one of the Nates, and it's pretty tight, but I think it'll stretch, and it's stretchier than before I wet block it. I don't like baggy hats. I don't think he would like a baggy hat. But if he's got big hair.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
We tease him and say he has Beatles hair. I think his mom watches our episodes from time to time. But yeah, so we'll see if it doesn't fit, then I'll keep it, and then I'll knit him one in a bigger size.
Right, or a different hat.
Well, I'll probably knit the same hat, just in different colors.
Gotcha.
Because I think he would like this hat. So
yeah,
I'm going to give it to him now that I've shown it to all of you.
Yay.
And we'll see what he says.
Great.
So yeah, that turned out great. It's all purled. The only knit stitches on the entire hat are the lines that go up the hat. Now what's funny is when you turn it inside out, because it's all purled, it looks like this.
It's a very nice knit hat.
Which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
So it's super simple because it's just all purled, and it's easy, but it's not boring. So it's potato chip knitting or popcorn knitting, whatever we decided the correct term was, but it's not boring because you've got to switch between the colors, and you've got to pay attention to where this stitch is and whether or not to slip it or knit it and all that kind of stuff. And the decrease, I really like the way the decrease looked.
That's great.
So yeah, so I think this is a hat I would knit again for sure. So
very cool.
There we go.
All right. I guess go to my hat. So this is also from the same set of patterns, Kelborn Woolens Year of Hats, and this is the April hat
from
that collection. The designer is Courtney Kelley. And this is a tam, so I'm trying to find it. I guess you can find it. It's supposed to kind of look like that. So it's like a little beret type thing, but
it's a tam.
It's a tam. So I'm excited about that. So it's getting done. So I'm using this.
I have to say, one of Betty Ann's favorite bands from Motown from the 60s were the Tams, and they all wore, or I don't know if all of them did, but I think they were named after that hat because they wore those hats.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I should maybe knit one for her.
I don't think she'd wear a tam.
That's true.
She'd wear a tube top if you knit her one of those.
Well, maybe I can adapt the tam to a tube top. So I'm using, this is just, this is, oh dear. Well, I lost the band, but it is... it
looks almost like Rios.
It is. It's Malabrigo Rios. I can't remember the color. Green.
What's green? What's Spanish for green?
Verde.
So.
But it's not that. It's got a better name than that. So anyway, this is the hat, and here's where I am on it. So I don't know if you can really be able to see it that well. I'll hold it still so Scott can zoom in. So a couple of things that are kind of fun. So number one, you make
just hold it still for just a second for me.
You make a lot of bobbles. So one of the things I've learned to do is figure out how I want to make my bobbles. So and then it also has this little detail. This, I don't know if you can see it or not, but this sort of leaf detail. Like right here where you basically pull loops up through the fabric to make this sort of leaf detail right here, which requires a crochet hook. So you pull it through using a crochet hook, which my crocheting has gotten a little bit better. So I no longer
mastery of the crochet hook.
Yes, exactly. So that's going. So I feel
that yarn is perfect for that hat.
Yeah, I really like. It's a little. So I'll be honest. It feels a little like an Irish stereotype, but that's okay. It's a green tam hat.
Are tams Irish?
Irish, Scottish. It just, yeah, Celtic stereotype. I don't know. But I really like it. I think so Rios is nice, and I've done a couple of patterns using it. It's really good for cables and stuff like that. The yarn is just very, I don't know, non-fuzzy.
Yeah, I was going to say
it has good stitch definition and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So
does a good job of showing off the features of that hat.
Yeah, so I'm basically four rows away from the decreases. So, and it will kind of look like that. Once it all...
And then it'll have the pom-pom.
The pom-pom, yeah. Which I think I'll have enough to make a pom-pom.
You could always do a contrasting color pom-pom.
Yeah.
It looks better with the green, maybe.
I think so, too. But I really like, I don't know if you can quite see this.
What you could do is do a pom-pom that has that color in it. Like if you run out of yarn.
Oh, yeah. Do part of it.
Then again, I mean, that's probably a standard Malabrigo Rios color way.
Yeah, but I I am well over 2/3 done with the hat, so I think we'll be fine.
Then you'll be fine. Yeah.
So this is kind of fun. I like the ribbing is really cool too. There's a little sort of rib here too, which looks cabled but isn't. It's just decreases in yarn overs and slip stitches. So, really, really, really fun. Like everything else, that first row when I was doing the leaves and the bobbles, I hated life, and now I'm on row whatever, and I find them. I mean, I can't do them without paying attention, but they're not a problem. So yeah.
I think you only started screaming and cussing once that I remember.
Maybe.
And said that you're never knitting again and you hate knitting.
I didn't say that. I said this pattern is stupid. No, I didn't say that either. No, it's just,
You're not mad You're not mad at me, you're mad at the dirt.
I'm mad at the existential idea of this hat.
Right.
So yeah. Well, and I think part of it is like what's always frustrating about this stuff is when on a hat like this, when you're figuring stuff out, right, and things are janky, you don't have the comfort of seeing how it's gonna look.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I think it says a lot about our personality types too, because when I run into that, I get very depressed and I'm like, oh, I'm a failure. I'm just gonna stop knitting this project. And you, on the other hand, are like, this hat is stupid and I hate it, and you get angry.
And I finish it usually, sometimes.
That makes you a better person, right?
Well, it makes me a different person. So anyway, this will be done, I think, pretty soon.
That's going to Amanda.
That's going to Amanda.
Who is also married to Nate, but not the Nate that I'm making
different
this
Nate.
hat for.
Yeah, no.
Different Nate.
So
I made her husband. This all started with me, well, you making our next door neighbor's little girl a hat, and then I made Amanda, who's married to Nate. I made him a hat. That was that fingering weight, or I mean, it was fingering weight. But what's the name of that pattern? The sockhead hat.
Sockhead hat. Yeah. So this looks a little bit like macrame, like the.
Yeah, because of the leaf.
Because of the leaf motifs, yeah. So maybe I'll just tell her that I learned to macrame the hat and see if she notices. So I don't know. This is going to be more of a. I feel like this is not a very good Minnesota winter hat. It seems jaunty and festive.
You've met Amanda, right?
Yeah, I know.
She'll eat that up.
No, I already asked her about it.
Yeah.
I said, would you? Because I don't want to, when I showed her pictures, like, would you wear this hat? She's like, yes. So
yes, Amanda's very pretty. She has very distinct eyes, and this hat, her eyes are blue, but this will really bring out her eyes. And I mean, she doesn't get to dress up and wear cool clothes as much because we're not going out and doing anything. But like she would wear this as a fashion.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I'm excited about it. So anyway, that is the current hat project. Hooray!
Yay! Good job.
So yeah.
You're always doing such interesting things with interesting. I just did a hat and all I did was purl. But, hey, I'm still a good person.
You are still a good person. I think, and I said that the reason I like doing this is like, I would never, ever, ever in a million years wear, even without the decoration, I'm not going to wear a tam. That's.
Well, you could in your Scottish cosplay, whatever.
Yeah, I don't really do that.
Well, if we ever make it to the Edinburgh Yarn Festival and we go to the Kelley.
Okay. I'll think about it then. But it won't have little vines on it.
Yeah, that's true. So I am whipping out my official sock bag that is my official sock bag now from now on, which is from Bearded Pearl.
Why? Because you didn't promise not to.
What? I'm sorry?
You didn't promise not to do socks.
I didn't.
Yes.
I didn't. So I was like, yay, I get to pass on a Scott. Fuck. Well, mainly because I finished, okay, we're jumping ahead. But we've started to make promises. They're not really promises. They're just goals for the following week, but we're it's hysterical. We're humorously calling them promises. As long as I knitted the Santiago ornament, I was allowed to knit on a sock or cast on a sock. Right. So I have decided that I'm making socks for my sister-in-law, Santiago's mom, Lisette, which I have not told you that yet.
Oh no, that's fine.
Because I realized I've never knit her or Jason any socks.
Right.
Or anything, and they live in Ohio. So anyway,
do it for the move to Florida.
Well, yeah. So they can get one use out of them. So, and the socks these are shorty socks, so you can wear these again. You can wear these year round. I think, in my opinion, this is the Cliffs of Insanity colorway.
Oh, fun!
From the Princess Bride Sock Club from Trilogy Yarns, which is in Spokane. So, Nancy outdid herself with this collection, or with this combination. So this is the main skein, and then this is the contrasting mini.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so it's beautiful, and so I'm knitting it. So what I'm doing is I'm doing the Rose City Rollers pattern, but rather than knitting I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Rather than following the pattern where you just knit stockinette, which causes it to roll down, I actually knit a cuff.
So it's like the Rose City cuffers?
Yes.
Okay.
So 2x2 rib.
You don't think I'm funny at all.
I don't think you're funny at all. So 2x2 rib, and then I did 5 rounds of stockinette, and then I started the heel. And then I forgot to switch to the contrasting mini when I started the heel flap, and I wasn't going to tink back. So I think I've got like 5, well, maybe more than that.
Okay, so
no, about 5 rounds. Actually, now that I think about it, it's 5 slipped stitches in the heel, which means it's 10 rows.
Okay.
Before I switched to the cuff, which it's a total of 36 rows.
Okay.
No, 32 rows for the heel flap. So I'm not worried about it.
Just to remember so it matches the next one.
Exactly. So, so I'll do that, and then I'm going to... I did cast on 60 stitches instead of 64 because I know she has really small feet, and they're 2.5 millimeters. And somebody had asked, Jet Above Clouds, had asked a few general questions about the sock knitting. So what I do is I use a 9-inch circular needle from ChowGoo, 2.5 millimeter. And I know that people struggle with knitting with a 9-inch circular. I don't know why it works for me. I know I do have smaller hands for a man, but I don't have. But I have. I don't know. But I have stubby hands. But part of it is I learned to knit socks. Betty Ann taught me to knit socks using 9-inch circulars, and I do throw, so I don't know if that makes a difference as throwing versus, what is that, continental, where you, and I use the tips of my fingers, and it's very, I don't know, it's just, I don't know how to describe it or make it easier for folks.
I just think get used to it. I mean, I think, because I did my mittens on the 9-inch circulars for the most part, it was fine.
You have much bigger hands than I do.
Yeah.
So
I think it's a comfort thing. I think the tough thing is when you're first starting out, it's like you have nothing to hold on to.
That is very true. It's like you have to get 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch of ribbing before it starts to be comfortable. So if you're basing it on the first several rows that you do, it's not going to be comfortable.
Yeah.
So don't base your like or dislike of the 9-inch circulars on the first 1/2 inch. It's tough to start, but then and because I've done it so much, I don't think about that anymore. But that's a really good point. The other thing is I enjoy using DPNs for this type of work. So I switch to DPNs when I'm doing the heel flap and gusset. So I keep my instep stitches on these 2 needles. And this is all in the Rose City Rollers pattern. But although the Rose City Rollers pattern does not talk about 9-inch circulars, it has you do them on DPNs the whole sock. But so then I put the heel flap stitches on 1 needle, work those, do the heel turn, and then do the heel turn. Oh, and then you pick up the stitches along the heel flap. Once I've got everything picked up again, I put it back on the 9-inch circulars, do the decreases down to the original number of cast-on stitches, knit the foot, then I switch back to DPNs for the toe.
Right.
So, and I do the toe that's in the Rose City Rollers pattern. So I do want to try like other heels and stuff like the Fish Lips Kiss, and I talk about that every time I talk about knitting socks. But I do want to try those heels. I just, you know what it is I love to be able to pick up and not look at a pattern. Like I can pick these up and just do it and not look at a pattern. I love that.
Right. Yeah.
I just love being able to do that, and so that's why I'm hesitant to try other things, is because
you might fail.
When well, there's that. But when I want to knit socks, it's so soothing,
right?
And I just want to pick it up and do it.
Like socks aren't your fun new adventure
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know that they ever will be.
Right. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's all I've got to say. I talked about the yarn. I talked about the pattern.
Great.
So before we get into a couple other things, a big project, do you want to talk about the project that's coming up on January 1st?
Sure.
So we, along with several of our friends who are on our Thursday Knit Night group, are all going to be knitting the Montrealer sweater. I don't remember who the designer
Designs
is.
by Delz.
Oh, Designs by Delz, that's right. It's a
sweater.
Worsted weight sweater?
I believe so.
We showed the yarn that we're going to use in a previous episode.
Right.
We're both using the same yarn. We're using tweed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see our gauge
difference.
Yeah. And then also, so it's a hoodie with a whatever those pockets are called in the front, and then stripes. It'll be fun. So we're both. It's the first time we're both going to be knitting the same pattern at the same time. We've both knit the same pattern before, but we've never knit the same pattern at the same time.
Right. And I've never done the thing where what's kind of fun is, there's a little group chat going on, so people are swatching and stuff like that. So it's just kind of fun to see where people are.
Yeah. So I'm very excited. I think it's going to be a
really awesome and so this is actually a really fun thing. Ross, who is one of the people knitting this with us. So
smells like yarn.
Smells like yarn, Ross. Smells like yarn, comma Ross. Or wait. Anyway, what he did with his for swatching is he knit a hat to swatch to find out the gauge. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of cool because then it's not waste.
That's not waste, and then it's so that way you're also getting a really natural. I always feel like with the knitted swatches where you like do the floating the yarn behind. I feel like that's not very. I mean, it's probably close enough, but I feel it's not really natural to what you would actually be knitting like. So.
And he has the Ross hat pattern.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's what he knit.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so I wonder if he. So we'll just. I would like to try that pattern.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a really cool idea if you're knitting a sweater to knit a hat and then.
That is a really cool
or maybe a headband if you don't think you do the whole hat.
Yeah.
But. Or a bracelet.
Yeah, but you can whip out a hat I can whip out a basic hat in a couple days. I think most people can do it in one sitting. I can't do it in one sitting. But.
Yeah. So, anyway, and then you can also see like how the stripes look and stuff like that too.
All right.
So I thought that was a really cool idea.
That is a very cool idea, and I'm going to do it.
Good.
So, should we talk about our promise before we move off the knitting thing? Should we talk about our...
Well, do you want to talk about your acquisition?
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute, but I want to talk about the promises.
Promises? Okay.
I forget who it was that recommended it, but I wrote it down.
Oh, okay. That's makes it less fun.
So
I like kind of making up my promises week from week and not being consistent.
So mine was to finish Nate 2's hat.
Yay!
And to do Santiago's ornament.
Yay!
So that kept me focused. Yours was to start the hat for Amanda, which was the green hat, and to finish Scott's socks.
Yay!
And you thought that was really ambitious. When you talked about it, you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah, no, actually having made a pledge to the universe to finish your socks helped you finish your socks. So for next week, I would like to... Okay, obviously I'm going to finish the hat for Amanda. That's super easy. That's not even a promise. That's just going to happen.
Well, okay.
No. Because to me, if I don't make a stretch goal, like that's not...
We'll do an easy goal and then a stretch goal.
No, because I have another easy goal.
Okay.
The other easy goal is to cast on the Montrealer.
Okay.
Start that swatch and do that. And then the other goal is to start another project that is not a hat for one of our neighbors.
Why?
Why not?
Do you already have something in mind?
Nope. So I'm going to cast on the Montrealer.
Yeah, and then you're going to start a project.
Or I will have, maybe not start, but I'll have picked out a pattern and yarn for a project. So it may be one of the things where I go into our stash and find a project to match the stash yarn. I don't know. But it won't be a hat for one of our neighbors because I have that.
You're okay. The way I heard you say that was I'm going to knit something for one of our neighbors that's not a hat.
Commas are important. Yes.
What you meant was
I'm going to knit something that is not a hat for one of our neighbors.
You're going to knit something for one of our neighbors that's not a hat. No,
that's not.
Yeah.
I am going to knit something that is
not a hat for one of our neighbors.
Not a hat for one of our neighbors.
Okay.
Or I'm going to start something.
All right.
And I will certainly probably have started another hat because I have I'm pretty sure I know what I'm knitting for Shannon. Actually, I know what I'm knitting for Shannon. I have that yarn and pattern already picked out.
Okay.
So
my
Shannon Nate's
promises. Wife. Yes, Shannon's Nate.
She has her own identity though.
Of Nate.
Of Nate. Of Nate too.
Yes, then that is a Handmaid's Tale reference. Okay, so mine, I'm going to finish one of Lisette's socks.
Okay.
Because I want to have them done. I go to see them in 2 weeks.
Yep.
To take Betty Ann back to Georgia, so I want to have them done by the time I
that makes sense.
Get there. So I'm going to finish one of Lisette's socks, and then I'm going to have completed a Ross hat as my swatch for the Montrealer.
Cool.
I mean, I will have cast on the Montrealer by then because it'll be after January 1st. Yeah. But this is just to encourage myself to do the hat as the swatch because I really like that idea.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so all right, so I have the best husband ever because
pretty much.
I got a set of Lykke DPNs for Christmas. So I got the Indigo DPN set. They're absolutely beautiful. So this is what they look like. I'll show more about them in a minute. But they come in this beautiful set case. And then what's really awesome is that they have the size in US and millimeters. And I'm not going to try to show this because it's so tiny. But in the middle of the band, or in the middle of the needle, it has the size in US sizing and in the millimeters right on the DPN,
which is lovely.
I wish all needles had that.
Well, I feel like with your other DPN sets, like you'll just find a needle lying around as one does, and you're just like, okay.
Well, and you can use the gauge and then figure out, but it's like the smaller they get, I find that it's like, oh, I can kind of fit it in this and kind of fit it in that. It's like, is it 2.0 or is it 2.25?
Right.
It's like it gets a little bit weird. So it goes from 2.0 millimeters, US size, what is that? 0, all the way up to US size
5s, I think.
5,
yeah,
which is 3.75 millimeters. So I did use them to do the decreases on this hat, and they're just smooth. They're not like bamboo. They're smooth. They're very smooth, and I love them. They're beautiful.
Hooray!
So thank you so much.
No problem. Merry Christmas, baby.
Merry Christmas. So that's the one acquisition that we have for this week, I believe.
Awesome. So we don't have a BA update. For those of you who ask all the time, Betty Ann is a real person. I mean, Betty Ann Asbill is Scott's mother. We have BA updates, which, as we've said, may or may not be fictional.
We may or may not be making them up to make her laugh.
Yeah. Or they may be true.
Somebody, and I don't say this in a mean way because our sense of humor is very dry, and we talk about it as though it's 100% true. So I understand the confusion, especially if you're like knitting and not really paying attention. But
right.
Somebody always in the comments is like, oh, well, I guess, maybe she's doing this for this reason, or maybe, and then I was talking to people on our knit night, and they're like, oh, does she really do that? And I'm like,
I mean,
Betty Ann is hilarious.
Yeah,
she's fun, but she wouldn't really do any of the stuff that we talk about.
I mean, yeah.
But what I
don't know. Does she even own a tube top?
No.
Okay, just checking.
No,
so yeah,
she was in modeling school, where she was technically doing. She was in modeling school, but she was not doing a modeling program. She was doing a different program. But they told her to model in a bathing suit, and she lost her mind.
Right.
Because she was so modest. But anyway,
actually,
she's the worst mother ever. She ruins my life, and she's embarrassing, and she
problematic. I think
is problematic. Yes.
All right. So that's the BA update, which is not an update, just a clarification. So what I thought would be kind of fun, bring out Angela.
Oh yeah, we didn't watch Angela Lansbury because Tamika Thomas is awful.
No, we didn't watch Angela Lansbury because we just didn't. So anyway, what I thought would be kind of fun is, hang on.
You've got like prep work done.
I printed something out. From Wikipedia.
Oh, okay.
So, what I'd be kind of fun is we've been doing, it's almost the end of 2020, and we've been doing the Angela Lansbury movies for a while, and I thought it'd be kind of fun just to go through and just talk about really quickly which ones we've watched.
Okay.
And the way we're going to do this, which would be super funny for me and frustrating for you.
You know, that doesn't bother me.
Is I'm going to name the movie.
Oh, God.
And you're going to say, did we watch it?
This is going to frustrate me.
Did we watch it or not? And do you remember? And then whether we remember something from the movie.
Okay.
And we'll do it in just the order in which she was in it.
Okay. This is good because there was someone, and I didn't write her name down, but she asked us if we'd done Red Knobs and Broomsticks because that was one of her favorite movies as a kid.
Right.
And she hopes that we do it in the future. Obviously, we've already done it.
Right.
But hopefully, she was hoping that we would do it in the future so that she could watch it along with us because she hasn't been able to watch one with us.
Gotcha.
So what I was thinking would be fun is to, and this will be good prep for that, is I'm going to go back and figure out which movies we watched in which episodes and then put in our Ravelry. And don't go looking for it anytime soon. I'll let you know when it's up. But that way, if people are particularly interested in a specific movie, they can go and watch that episode.
That's very fun.
Yeah.
All right. So. Gaslight.
Yes, we have watched that.
Okay.
That one was the one. Well, this is going to take forever if I...
No.
But yes, that was like... It's the movie that is her first movie, but she always says it's not her first movie.
Right.
When she's interviewed. She always says it's not her first movie. She says the second movie is her first movie.
Or the third movie. National Velvet.
Yes, we have. Elizabeth Taylor, horses.
Okay, yeah.
There was knitting in that one.
There was knitting. You should describe it in two words, and then was there knitting.
Okay.
The Picture of Dorian Gray.
Yes. Weird. That picture was horrifying, and it still haunts my dreams.
Okay. The Harvey Girls.
Yes. Big weird bows.
Who's a co-star?
Liza Minnelli's mother. Oh my God. Julia Roberts. What's her name?
Judy Garland.
Judy Garland. Yes, Judy Garland.
You're embarrassing.
I can't remember people's names.
The Hoodlum Saint.
No.
Okay. Till Clouds Roll By.
Yes, that was the jukebox musical.
Yes. How'd you like to push me out?
Oh God, that's the one where she was in the swing.
Yeah.
It was awful music.
How'd you like to push it? How'd you like to spoon me down? I can't remember. It was terrible.
How'd you like to spoon with me?
Yeah. The Private Affairs of Bellamy.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the one. It's in France.
Mm-hmm.
God, I don't remember anything about it except for him walking. God, I don't remember anything except for the opening of the movie.
Right.
Oh, he had the daughter, and
she had the daughter.
Well, there was something about, and he taught the daughter to play piano.
No, that's Until Clouds Roll By.
That's Till Clouds Roll By.
Yeah.
I don't remember Bellamy.
He's really mean to Angela Lansbury. Anyway.
Okay.
If Winter Comes.
No.
State of the Union.
No.
I want to see that one. That is Angela Lansbury and Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy, but you can't find it.
Oh,
I know.
God, that sounds amazing.
Three Musketeers.
Yes, that was dumb.
It was,
but I didn't know the story, and so I was glad to watch it because now when people talk about the Three Musketeers, I know it's something other than the candy bar.
Right, and it has lots of dancing in it. Okay, 10th Avenue.
Dancing was good.
10th Avenue Angel.
No.
The Red Danube.
No.
Samson Delilah.
Yes. She got run through with a spear at the very beginning.
Kind Lady.
No.
Mutiny.
No.
Remains to be Seen.
No.
A Life at Stake.
No.
The Purple Mask.
No.
A Lawless Street.
No.
So 1952 through 1955 is like a big
It's
gap.
a blind spot for us.
Yes. The Court Jester.
Yes. That had Danny Kaye.
Yes. And she's Princess Gwendolyn.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Oh, she was Queen Anne in Three Musketeers. Okay.
Please murder me.
Yes. Yes. What was that one about? Oh, that was the one where at the end he committed suicide and framed somebody and...
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was the weird Asian art all over their house.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The Long Hot Summer.
Oh, yes. That one had the guy from Red Rum. Not Red Rum. The guy from Orson Welles.
Orson Welles and Paul Newman.
What was the name of that? What was the name of the movie with the name of the ski sled?
Rosebud.
Rosebud, not Red
Citizen
Rum.
Kane.
Citizen Kane, yeah.
But close. The Reluctant Debutante.
Yes. Jeez, I don't remember anything about that movie.
It's like Sandra Dee, and she's like coming over to England, and her father is Rex Harrison.
Yeah, I kind of remember that now.
And she falls.
Oh, but her daughter was the debutante, right?
Right, but Angela Lansbury wasn't the mother of the debutante.
No. But her daughter was also trying to find a husband. Or whatever. Yeah.
All right. The Summer of the 17th Doll. No. I'm super...
DOLL or
yes.
DAHL?
Summer of the 17th Doll. I'm intrigued by that. The Dark at the Top of the Stairs.
No.
A Breath of Scandal.
No.
Blue Hawaii.
Yes. That was where I discovered that Elvis is hot.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. We're not going to do When She's Just a Voice uncredited. That just seems like... All Fall Down.
I think we did.
Okay. It's the one with Warren Beatty in it.
Oh, yeah, where it was started off in the Keys.
Right, and he's a scumbag.
And he's her mom, and she's an enabler.
Yeah.
She's an enabler.
Right. Okay, The Manchurian Candidate.
Oh, yeah. That was one of the first ones we watched.
Yeah.
That was a really, 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 really good movie.
In the Cool of the Day.
No.
The World of Henry Orient.
Is that as opposed to In the Heat of the Night?
I guess so. it's the companion piece.
Oh. What was the next one?
The World of Henry Orient.
No.
Dear Heart.
No.
The Greatest Story Ever Told.
Just watch that one.
Mm-hmm. Her last name is Claudia Procula.
It's not Pilot?
I guess not.
Claudia Pilot?
Yeah. The Amorous Adventures of Moll Flanders.
We did not finish that one because it was unwatchable.
Yeah. Harlow.
No.
Okay. Mr. Budwing.
No.
Something for Everyone.
Yes. That was the one that was... She was the heiress in Austria.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd lost... She'd didn't have the family money anymore because of the post-Nazi whatever, and Michael York ran around in skimpy little shorts.
Yep. Bed Dogs and Broomsticks.
Yep. That was the one
Knitting and Danger to Cats.
And the cat was like dumped in oil or something.
Death on the Nile.
Yep.
The Lady Vanishes.
Yes, but I don't remember anything about The Lady Vanishes. I need a hint on that one.
It was on a train.
Well, so was Death on the Nile? No, that was on a boat. The Lady The Lady Vanishes? Wait,
Yeah.
The Lady Vanishes.
Sybil Shepherd. Elliot Gould.
Oh,
Train.
that's right. Was she wasn't the nun. She was the German... Did she play the weird German lady?
No, she was the woman who
No,
vanished.
Yes, but I don't... Was that an Angela... I mean, was that a
Agatha Christie? No.
Yeah.
It's an Alfred Hitchcock remake.
That's not the one with the nun.
The Nun?
There was like a nun on the train.
Yes.
And the German lady on the train.
Yep.
There was all these people that Sybil Shepherd was trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The mirror cracked.
This is a peek into what my memory is like. The mirror cracked, yes. But I don't remember anything about it.
Who are two of the co-stars in A Mirror Cracked?
I don't remember anything about it.
Elizabeth Taylor, Rock Hudson, and I forget the third one.
Wait, is this the one that's that old lady?
Ms. Marple.
Miss Marple.
Yeah.
Okay, and Elizabeth Taylor wore that weird hat with the flowers on
Yes.
it. Okay. These are the things I remember. Sorry.
The Last Unicorn. She's a voice in that one. But we could watch that. The Pirates of Penzance.
Oh, yes. I've seen that 1,000 times.
The Company of Wolves.
No.
Okay. We should watch that. That's a Neil Jordan Little Red Riding Hood
Okay.
thing. Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah. Have we watched that as part of this?
No. We've excluded voice work.
Yeah, and we saw that, the like re-release or whatever it's called, in the movie theater, and so that was the best, was watching it in the movie theater again.
Okay. Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas.
No, but we're gonna have to watch that next Christmas.
Anastasia.
No, I've not seen that one.
No.
And I think they pronounce it Anastasia when it's Disney.
Let's see. Fantasia 2000. That's interesting. She's like introduces a segment, I think.
No, I haven't. I've seen the original Fantasia, obviously.
Nanny McPhee.
No, I've never seen that movie.
Neither have I. Another voice work, Heidi Four Paws. Mr. Popper's Penguins.
No.
Okay. So then Driving Miss Daisy.
Yes, we saw that. That was the one. Wait, what?
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did. It was her and the guy. Well, we haven't watched it this time, but it was
her and James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones. It was a recorded play,
Mm-hmm.
and it was shown in the movie theaters when we went and saw it. No, I went with Nathan to see it.
Yeah, I did not see that.
It was excellent.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
And then the Grinch. She's
the new Grinch.
It looks like it. She's a voice. Mary Poppins Returns.
Yes.
And then Buttons: A Christmas Tale.
Who's Buttons?
I don't know.
My grandmother's dog's name was Buttons.
And then there's a couple of other like TV show stuff, TV movies that we've seen. And I'm just gonna list these because Sweeney Todd, Demon, Barber of Fleet Street.
Yeah.
Oh, Frat Cheese and Lace.
Oh God.
The Love She Sought.
Oh, that was the also known as A Green Journey.
Yes.
Well, and then there's Murder, She Wrote, which we always forget to go back and watch.
Right.
Because we've seen several episodes, but...
Right. And then Mrs. Santa Claus, which is our next movie.
Our next movie, yeah.
So we've seen quite a few. So 1, 2. I mean, the thing is, she has just a... So we've seen 26 of her movies.
That's ridiculous. We must have been doing... Have we been doing this longer than a year?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, I don't remember last Christmas watching any Christmas-related ones.
When we weren't in the spirit? I don't know.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Well,
definitely.
we're
Because
gonna
we had a long pause for a while last year.
We'll
so.
make Steve and Charles watch
Mrs. Claus. Oh yeah.
Mrs.
So
Santa
we have
Claus
some. We're doing for New Year's. We're doing a cabin with some friends, and so we'll make Steve and Charles watch Mrs. Santa Claus.
Yeah. We're all just so everybody. Not for those of you who care. We're quarantining for a couple weeks, not interacting and all of that, and then we're gonna So it's just 4 of us, and we're going to go to a cabin weekend.
Plus the dogs.
Plus the dogs.
Yeah.
Who knows what kind of diseases they have.
Oh, God. Crazy disease, that's for sure.
All right, so this has been fun. I am very glad that we did it.
I know. It was just fun to sort of like go through and be like, oh, we have a lot we can still watch.
Yeah. I meant the episode was fun.
Yeah, I know. But like there's mini-series we can watch.
I'm interested in the first Olympics, Athens 1896.
We might have to watch that. Again, Lace.
Yeah. We've seen Lace, but I would watch Lace again.
Did you? Did you watch it with me?
I watched it till I fell asleep.
Yeah. It's not great. I
was trying to wrap it up, but did you want to say anything else?
The Rage of Angels, the story continues. How can a TV movie called that
Mrs. Arras Goes to Paris?
Yep.
All right, anyway, so it's been very much fun.
It's very fun.
I'm glad that we did it. It was great to spend time with you guys, although that sounds weird, but I feel like you're there, but you're not really there because we're just talking to my phone set up in the middle of our kitchen.
High phone setup. So
anyway,
all right.
Everybody have a great
New Year's.
New Year's.
We'll see you guys in 2021.
Thank God.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.